Well, because of the allegations from the man you just heard from there, a congressional committee is investigating D.C. City Hall. Congressman Darrell Issa is the chairman of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee, which is responsible for overseeing D.C. He says he asked his staff to gather some basic information on the matter, but they didn't have much luck. In a statement released today, he said, quote, "The initial findings of these efforts do not give me confidence that the district government can make this evaluation." Here now to talk about this is Bob Weiner, Democratic strategist and former spokesman for the Government Reform Committee for 6 years before Issa became chair. And Jack Burkman is a Republican strategist. Jack, for D.C. residents, this is deja vu all over again. They would argue this is just a Republican power grab to try and run their lives. Is it?
No, I don't think so at all, Brian. I mean, look, the American people spend billions of dollars to run the district. God help us if the chairman of the Oversight Committee doesn't want to investigate something like this. This is billions of dollars of taxpayer money. The American people have a right to know. And we know more than, these investigations are more about your business than our business, because it's the bright lights of the media. It's the lens of the camera. It's all of the cable news networks in that room. That's how we get results. That's how we get answers. And, I'll tell you something else. Mr. Brown is no angel, but I don't understand why the mayor is backing into a corner. He's certainly not welcoming this investigation. I think he's bringing, I'm not taking sides in the local issue, but the mayor seems to be bringing heat on himself. I think he should be much more welcoming of Mr. Issa's investigation.
Bob, what are the Democrats going to do to stand up for the citizens of the district who obviously, there's a license plate, taxation without representation here?
I got to say something here. I got into politics and into national issues organizing because I want to do something for the country and do something for the people. These people who are in it for the slime in the mud, including this Sulami Brown, who takes envelopes of money and admits it and says those statements are accurate, and the mayor who gives the money to him, or in PG County, where I happen to live, Prince George's, where Jack Johnson took hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Do you support the hearings, Bob? Do you support the hearings?
I'm going to say that slime in politics is no reason for people to get in, and they should get out if that's the reason they want to be in politics.
The question, Bob, what are Democrats going to do to stand up for the district?
Now, all right, back to the issue. I was the spokesman for the very committee that Issa is now chair of. This is an outrage that he would get into the mud and the politics of D.C. when local prosecutors and the FBI should be doing those investigations. The House Government Operations Committee for D.C. should be investigating what's the lead in the water. What about nuclear safety for our country? What about children's toys?
Hold on a minute there. The federal government spends...
Those are the investigations that should be investigated.
The federal government spends...
I think this is my time, Jack,
Bob,
for a second.
Go ahead, Jack.
The federal government spends north of $12 billion a year on the District of Columbia. Why in the world, under such conditions, should they not have full right to investigate? And I'll tell you something else. If we know anything from the last 25 years of the history of the district, it is that it cannot clean its own house. It can't clean up its own mess. It can't investigate its own crimes. That's why it has never been granted statehood by the American people.
Yeah, but Jack, listen, the town has a government. It's a viable government, and it's worked for many, many years. And Republicans are not running to rush and take over the Bell, California City Council. They got six council members facing corruption, practically stealing millions from the town. They're not jumping to run Detroit, where the mayor there was sexting his mistress and lying under oath.
Well, there's a big
Why are they jumping to run this town?
I hear you, Brian. Brian, you raised a good question. I'm going to answer it. Here's the answer. Michigan and California are states in the Union. The District of Columbia is not. The District of Columbia is not entitled to a seat at that table. Statehood means something. The District of Columbia is financed through the beneficence and the mercy of the American people. It has no other right to exist. I'll tell you something else.
Well, taxpayers would disagree with you, Jack. Taxpayers would say they pay a lot of taxes to exist.
Nobody's chained to the steps of the Capitol. This is a federal city. They can go anywhere they want. But I'll tell you something else. If I were running the House of Representatives and I saw this kind of corruption by the mayor of the district, I would not hesitate to step in, slash the mayor's budget, slash his salary, slash the council's budget as a penalty to the district.
Can I get a word in edgewise here?
Yeah, let me just, I'll give you the last word. I want to play, or at least read a statement from D.C. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton. She serves on the committee investigating. She released this statement today. It says, "I am outraged that a congressional committee with a full agenda would make a detour to investigate a purely local matter. There is no congressional issue at stake in a probe of local matters." She goes on to say, "A congressional investigation would take the new House Republican majority's obsession with invading the district's home rule to a new low. I hope to meet Chairman Issa to ask him to defer to the investigations now underway. Bob, I'll give you the last word.
This is the Government Oversight Committee. What happened to nukes post-Japan safety in America? What happened to Arab intelligence, why we don't know what's going on in Libya and we can't control it? And we're about to go to war, by the way, with Libya in a matter of hours, probably. What happened to the fact that we have two wars that we're fighting in the instead of targeted intelligence operations?
So they have better things to do.
It. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Fenty's starting to look pretty good. He hired people like Rhee and Lanier, who ran great departments and still are. And Lanier still
Jack,
is.
I feel like
Those
it was
are looking
unbalanced
pretty
here. Let me
good
give you the
compared to
last
what
word,
this guy
Jack.
is doing.
I don't understand why. This is just classic. Bob is taking us off the track. He wants to talk about the Japanese nuclear problem.
That's the job of this committee.
He wants to talk about the Mideast. The job of this committee is first and foremost to safeguard the money and the finances of the American people. You ask Bob, the question is, are the hearings appropriate? Not only does he not answer it, he starts talking about the Mideast.
No, they are not appropriate.
It reminds me of the Clinton
Jack,
years.
Jack believes they are. Jack Burkman, Bob Weiner, thank you guys both for coming in.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.